McLaren felt a bit sorry for us, I think, after our Finding Racing Cars in London video. As much as I did manage to find Niki Lauda's McLaren, I don't like to brag, but I still lost the challenge. They've invited us here today to the MTC, the McLaren Technology Centre.
We've got cars all the way dating back from Bruce McLaren's first car that he ever raced in, all the way up to the 2012 McLaren. No, we've even got the Golf livery McLaren here. But there's so many that you even just forget about them. We've got cars from all the different eras. So what are we saying? First one to take a picture of a car wins again? Yeah, cool. See you later.
This is where it all began. Bruce was 15 years old when he drove this 1954 Austin 7 and won his first ever race. What an absolute lad.
It would go 80 miles an hour, so very quick, and you've got no doors on it at all. And that's because back then, if you were to get into a crash, it was actually safer to bail out of the car rather than stay in it.
And there's even some amazing details, like on the speedo, little marks, so Bruce would know when to change up as well. And even on the rear wheels, right here, you can see they've actually scraped up against the bodywork. Just there, look at that. I love that they've kept that in there as well, not fixed it.
The man himself, I don't have to social distance, 8mm thick bronze Chelsea boots as well, which, I mean, I didn't realise that was a driver's choice of shoe back in the day.
And I think if we bring Aldas in, we found another driver who is taller
he is
than
Aldas.
Well. I mean, if we put you on a plinth,
Yeah.
I still think you're not gonna...
I reckon you're about there.
Racing driver's height, that's all it is. This is the first Formula One car in terms of the McLaren heritage that we've seen here. And I mean, from 1969, and the biggest kind of amazing thing about this is obviously the papaya now is very, very iconic. But if you're wondering how it kind of came about, Bruce McLaren basically noticed that the reds and the greens on TV back in the day in black and white looked very similar, so he decided that he wanted a very bright color, and this is what he chose. And on the TVs, it was a very bright white. So yeah, extremely iconic, and of course, coming back to what we have today with the orange McLarens.
Ahead of his time when it comes to the colour, but also the wings, obviously, they stand out first and foremost.
But this was also a period where Formula One was just getting into its aero, so you can see obviously earlier adaptation of what we maybe would consider as a front wing.
Look at the little adjustments of it as well with this bit here where you just unbolt it, you could raise it a little bit and then bolt it back on.
Totally exposed engine, don't have to worry about cooling. It's actually insane.
And also what's incredible is just, I mean, if you look inside, look at how unsafe it is. I mean, you could almost just punch through it and just, that's all your life depended on, is that cockpit right there.
Look at how beautiful these mirrors are. Just sculpted, all the rivets.
The Kiwi as well. I mean, a very early...
New Zealand's famous bird.
Got to give the Kiwi some love as well.
So here we are now by the M19C from 1972, and this was one of the first cars that was really dictated by the sponsored livery. As you can see, there's a little bit of papaya still here, but mainly the white colour of the Yardley sponsor, nicknamed the alligator belly car, because as you can see, it sort of sticks out here, kind of like an alligator's belly.
Even to this day, the Cosworth DFV still remains the most successful engine in Formula One. And what I also love about this car is that the steering wheel, there's just, we know about how complex the steering wheels are these days, but this just has one little switch and all it does is kill the engine, and that is it. So yeah, definitely very rudimentary back then.
Look at the size of this rear wing as well, like how deep it is relative to the car.
You've also got like the brake disc so exposed as well that you can see here where they just sort of clasp on.
Mad.
Just a fire extinguisher in the cockpit as well.
Also the pit stops back then used to take like 60, 90 seconds, so sometimes the drivers would jump out and help because you have to be very, very strong to get that off on your own. Even Big Guns Gullis, I think, would struggle with that, definitely. Just to make this even more special, we're used to stickers these days. All of these logos, you can see actually when you look up close, hand painted on. I just love it. I'm a sucker for a good logo, me. And I mean, they look so good. They look like stickers, hand painted, incredible. 1974, 1977, 3 years of change. You can see the cars have got a lot more boxy. The papaya is also gone. Emerson Fittipaldi won 16 races over 5 years, 6 seasons. So it's one of the most successful McLaren chassis ever, one of. Fantastic. James Hunt, 77. Just look, it's beautiful.
And I just love the difference in tyre sizes as well. You have these massive rear tyres that you just can't miss. And then these ones, I mean, they almost look like little go-kart tyres compared to the rear ones.
I do miss the height of the airboxes in the 74 car. Just the proportions of it just look.
Well, this airbox was sort of different to the other cars in that sort of time, because they were still actually quite high, whereas McLaren decided to go for like the 2 on the side.
Something else that's quite interesting between these two cars is the perspex. Again, really kind of a lot of difference that we can see. This one's a lot more shrouded, and you can see already a bit of an aero effect in the sense that it shoots the air up. And on this one, aerodynamic effect, it's all to do with just getting the air over the driver and just, I love these mirrors and the way they're integrated. So one thing that it definitely reminds me of is almost the aero screen in IndyCar.
No, you're right. The shape of it is very, very reminiscent. Ahead of their time. 1977 this was, long time ago. Iconic McLarens for the world to see. Starting with the 88 MP44, the most successful McLaren. 15 wins in 16 races. Ayrton Senna made his debut at McLaren in this car, won the title, as we all know. It was sport for choice, Aldas. I mean, look at that.
This is from 1985. It is a turbo car. Alain Prost won the World Championship in this, and this was a golden generation for McLaren, really, when they just became almost the most iconic team in Formula One.
It's almost like a Top Gear challenge.
I guess we need to get the keys quickly and I suppose just do a lap around here.
That'd be fine, wouldn't it?
Lap around the pool, there we go.
Yeah.
Lando put a good word in. Nostalgia.com for me right here. This is the 1999 title-winning McLaren Mika Häkkinen, my hero growing up. This livery, for me, is the most iconic livery of all time as far as I'm concerned. Okay, you can have your opinions, lads, but for me, different gravy.
This is the 98 one, so this is actually the predecessor of what your one was. Another championship winning car for Mika Häkkinen, and it's just so cool. Like you say, this was the sort of livery of McLaren when I got into Formula One.
The beginning of the McLaren-Mercedes partnership, of course.
Exactly, yeah.
So here we have the 2005 McLaren, Kimi Räikkönen's, and this was, despite Kimi winning a title at Ferrari, I think this was peak Kimi. The combination of McLaren, Kimi and the Michelin tyres was just absolutely unbelievable. But sadly, this car, it actually is the most successful McLaren car to never win a title, won 10 races that season.
Infinitely more complicated around this section of the car particularly, even just compared to the 99, 98 cars. It's
so many different winglets sticking off. We're going to get even more complicated as we go further along.
You know, you've got little hits of the orange as well in the livery, slightly starting to come back the papaya, just hinted. It's nice.
Here we get to probably the liveries that certainly for me, where it all began with Formula One, the Vodafone livery, and the number one on the car, you spot that. This is from 2007 and this is Fernando's car, and the year he spent with Lewis Hamilton as well. I mean, challenge for the title, both him and Lewis in Lewis's rookie season finished on the same points and just one behind Kimi Räikkönen, but a car that did win the title, Tommo.
2008 McLaren, similar, but you can see, especially look at the little gills on the front, on the nose, like the aero this was putting down, technically only 80 miles an hour would you need to go to drive this on the ceiling.
I'll do it.
Go on then, Alice, you can crack on, mate.
It's crazy looking at this car from the front and just seeing how much aero is on it.
This little lump on here is where it's shrink wrapped. This is where the driver's foot is on the throttle.
This car here was producing so much downforce all through the area, and then the regulations came in, it got stripped away, and then we move over to this one and you can see there's just a drastic change between the two cars. Gone are all those complicated winglets, it's much more simplified. This was actually the first ever F1 car to win a race with the KERS system.
This is so much simpler, but the livery is no less iconic at all.
And then moving to the 2010 car, and Jenson Button, of course, winning the title, carried the number one into McLaren in 2010. And something that I find really interesting between the 2009 and the 2010 is the fact that refueling, of course, was banned in 2010, and the back of the car is a lot bigger because, of course, the fuel tank was bigger as well.
2012 McLaren, that season, which was a phenomenal end to the year, one of F1's greatest seasons of all time as far as I'm concerned. And again, the livery moved over. You can see slight changes to the nose, the way it kind of swoops down. But again, you can see the evolution there. The liveries stayed pretty much the same and just worked. It was testament to how good a livery they designed.
Here we have the most up-to-date car from Monaco, and it is the Golf livery. I mean, seeing it right up close, being right next to it, I mean, just stunning.
It's an iconic partnership, Golf and McLaren. I love the retro, the circles.
It's so cool. Got on the podium as well in Monaco, P3. So a cracking result for a beautiful car.
It's so small in here. Like, I know I'm not built like a racing driver, okay, but
me and you are not getting in there.
Yeah.
There is, Aldas has got a good chance.
Oh yeah, it'll be fine. Look at that exhaust. Look at it. Look at how cool that is. You can see like right inside.
What other McLaren retro liveries would you like?
Vodafone,
yes.
Chrome, obviously.
Yes. I want to see the one-off the white and yellow. It was a one-off Marlboro.
Yeah.
The white and yellow, that'd be amazing.
That was good.
A little modern recreation of that.
Come on, no. Chrome McLaren, please.
Marlboro.
Please, McLaren.
Just the normal Marlboro.
Please.
Just bring that back, just for one off race on one of these cars would look so good.
That would look unreal, not gonna lie. And here we have McLaren Shadow Esports. Look at this setup, beautiful. Got Veloce, look, big up.
There we go.
Big up. Veloce right here.
So this room here is for the esports team of McLaren Shadow, and this is where they're going to come down, bit of training, even streaming as well. On top of each of the monitors there is a webcam, so all of the members can stream.
Look at those PCs.
Yeah, that's what I'm on about. Look at them, they are humongous. You feeling nice and comfortable here?
I'm loving that.
This is a PlayStation F1 cockpit, Alienware monitor as well, of course, the Alienware computer, the absolute beastie boy.
That is a wrap. Thank you so much, of course, to the legends at McLaren for inviting us. And I mean, what a day it's been.
What a day. It's been a great day for all of us to just check out Formula 1 cars.
Please drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. And I think, I should say that, I think you should probably subscribe. See you on the next one.
Bye.
I'm Esports,